I love latkes, and here I am making sweet potato latkes, but they are not traditional in any sense because I am using Japanese sweet potatoes. You can easily use conventional sweet potatoes, but I'm going to use 2 large Japanese sweet potatoes today. I'm not peeling off the skin because I like to incorporate that for the color and an added nutritional level. And I am adding those to a bowl that's lined with a thin muslin dish towel. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that at least as much of the moisture as I can get out of these sweet potatoes is extracted before I begin to cook them. So I have that sitting on the dish towel in the bowl, and I have a medium-sized shallot here that I'm going to grate as well. Before I add that into my sweet potatoes, I'm going to take those sweet potatoes and really use that dish towel to squeeze out any liquid I possibly can. These don't have as much moisture in them as a traditional potato would, but as you can see, looking at the dish towel, it definitely gets a little moist. So I want to get out as much as I can before I mix in the grated shallot. I'm going to mix that in, and then I'm going to add in a few other ingredients to help bring the whole thing together. I'm going to use cassava flour, or you can use a gluten-free flour. I'm using 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup of that, mixing that in. And then I'm going to add in aquafaba, which is basically the liquid that garbanzo beans or chickpeas are sitting in when they're in a can, or if you've cooked them on the stovetop, it's the liquid that you have left. And it's pretty magical because it's a really great egg replacement. Because I want this to be a vegan dish, I am using aquafaba instead. I've used 8 tablespoons, which is 1/2 cup. And I've mixed that in. At the very end, I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. The reason I'm waiting to season it till the end is because salt extracts liquid from the potatoes, and I don't want them to become too moist before I add them into the pan. So I have a large cast iron pan that I have put 1/4 cup of coconut oil into, and I am just using my hands to make these latkes. I like them kind of rough around the edges because they can get that nice crisp to them and that golden brown edge that I'm really going for. And I'm cooking them over medium heat for 2 reasons. One, because I'm using coconut oil and I do not want the coconut oil to burn. And 2, because I don't want the edges of them to overcook and I want them to cook through really thoroughly and be crispy. So I find that medium heat is just about the perfect temperature to cook these on. They take about 5 minutes per side, which I've obviously fast forwarded. And then I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of coconut oil to melt and create more latkes with my hands to cook again. So I still have my pan over medium heat, and I'm going to get about another 4 more latkes out of this potato mixture. I would say you could get anywhere from 8 to 10 latkes out of this, depending on how large you make them. And I'm just going to use my spatula to make sure that they're squashed down and get cooked all the way through. Again, about 5 minutes on each side. And now I'm going to make a cashew cream to go on top of these. This is something that you can easily make ahead and keep in your refrigerator, but for the sake of the video, I'm showing you how to make it after making the latkes. So I have 1/2 cup of cashews that I've soaked for 2 hours in 1 cup of filtered water. I have drained and rinsed those, and I'm adding them into the top of a blender. And I'm also going to add in another 1 cup of filtered water, 1 clove of garlic, 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt, and the zest and juice from 1 lime, just to create interesting flavor to go with those Japanese sweet potatoes. And then I'm going to crank in about a pinch to like 1/8 of a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper and blend that on high until it's super smooth. This is delicious on top of tacos and lots of things, but I really like it with these latkes. So just to show you how I like to eat these, I spoon a little bit of the cashew cream on top, and I add some avocado, fresh cilantro, sliced green onions, and a little bit extra flaky sea salt. And this is a wonderful side dish or a great vegan meal option. I hope you guys will enjoy it.